In a peaceful meadow where the tall trees whispered stories of ancient winds, a tiny sparrow fluttered between the branches. Its wings, small and delicate, could only carry it short distances, and yet it was content. Each day it flew a little further than before, pecking at the earth for food, dancing in the sunlight and enjoying the simple beauty of life. Yet, deep within its heart, there was an unspoken desire, a longing that stirred with every gust of wind. It wasn't that the sparrow was unhappy with its life, but it couldn't ignore the call of something greater. The skies beyond the trees, the mountains towering in the distance. The sparrow dreamed of soaring above the clouds, feeling the rush of wind beneath its wings, far beyond what its small wings could carry. Every day, it watched the other birds glide effortlessly through the air, the eagles soaring with grace and power. They flew without a care high above the trees, while the sparrow, with its tiny wings, struggled to keep up. The sparrow tried flapping its wings as hard as it could, but no matter how fast it went, it could never match the mighty eagles. It felt trapped by the limits of its own wings. One bright afternoon, as the sparrow rested on a low branch, it looked up. Above it, a group of eagles soared, their wings stretched wide as they glided on the breeze. The sparrow's heart ached with envy. "Why can't I fly like them?" it wondered aloud. The wind, which had carried the eagles high into the sky, seemed to answer, "If you dare to dream big, you can soar high." The words hung in the air, filling the sparrow with a sense of possibility it had never felt before. For the first time, the sparrow believed that perhaps, just perhaps, it was capable of more. One crisp morning, as the sparrow flew along the forest path, its wings fluttered with a sense of quiet yearning. It had been practicing its flight, pushing itself further each day, but still it felt the weight of its limitations. The trees blurred beneath it as it soared higher, when suddenly a shadow swept across the ground. Looking up, the sparrow gasped in awe. A mighty eagle, its feathers shining in the sun, had landed on a large rock just ahead. The eagle stretched its wings wide, feeling the air with ease as though the very sky belonged to it. The sparrow watched, mesmerized by the eagle's effortless grace and the power that seemed to radiate from its every movement. Noticing the sparrow's gaze, the eagle turned its sharp eyes toward the small bird. It studied the sparrow for a moment, then spoke in a deep, calm voice. "You are strong, little one, though you don't yet know it. The sky is wide and it can be yours, but you must learn to believe in yourself first." The sparrow, stunned by the eagle's words, felt a surge of hope mixed with doubt. The eagle's eyes softened. "Come with me," it said. "Join me in the higher skies. You don't have to remain grounded forever." The sparrow hesitated, a whirlwind of emotions swirling within. Fear gripped its heart and self-doubt crept in. "I'm too small," it thought. "How could I possibly keep up with an eagle?" But the eagle, sensing the sparrow's hesitation, leaned in closer, its voice firm yet encouraging. "Sometimes the smallest wings carry the greatest flight. You have more power in you than you realize." The sparrow, though unsure, felt something deep within stir. For the first time, it wondered if it could fly beyond its limits, if it could reach the skies it had always dreamed of. The invitation felt like a call to adventure, one that the sparrow could not ignore. The sparrow had never experienced anything like this before. Under the eagle's guidance, it soared higher each day, pushing its wings to their limits. The wind howled louder, and the sky seemed to stretch endlessly before it. The sparrow's small wings, once enough to navigate the meadow, now felt inadequate in the vast open air. Every flap seemed like a struggle, as though the wind itself was trying to push it back down. Despite its determination, the higher altitudes terrified the sparrow. The cold, biting wind seemed to grow stronger the higher it flew, and the earth below grew more distant, more unreachable. The sparrow's heart raced as it tried to keep up with the eagle, but its wings felt too weak to match the eagle's effortless glide. Every time it faltered, doubt crept into the sparrow's mind. "Maybe I'm not meant to fly like the eagle. I'm just a small sparrow, too fragile to conquer these heights," it thought. Its wings trembled with uncertainty as it struggled to stay aloft. The eagle, ever watchful, saw the fear in the sparrow's eyes and circled back, offering words of comfort. "It's not the size of your wings that matters, but the strength in your heart," the eagle said, its voice steady and reassuring. On one particularly stormy afternoon, the winds grew fierce. The sparrow, struggling to maintain control, was suddenly knocked off course by a powerful gust. Its wings beat frantically, but the storm was too strong. Before it knew it, the sparrow found itself plummeting toward the ground. It hit the earth with a soft thud, its body trembling from the fall. The sparrow lay there for a moment, breathing heavily, feeling defeated. "I will never be able to fly like the eagle," it thought, its heart heavy with the weight of failure. The winds had claimed it, and the sparrow wondered if it was destined to remain grounded forever. The sparrow lay still for a moment, its body aching from the fall, its wings heavy with exhaustion. The storm had passed, but the weight of failure still pressed down on its spirit. It was then that the eagle landed beside it, its presence calm and steady amidst the chaos of the world. The eagle's eyes, wise and knowing, met the sparrow's, and it spoke softly. "You have already come so far, little one. The sky is yours if you trust in your strength." The sparrow looked up, feeling the eagle's words settle deep inside. It realized then that the eagle was right. It had come so much farther than it ever thought possible. The sparrow's wings, though small, had carried it farther than the forest, higher than the treetops. Perhaps it wasn't about how far it could fly, but about believing it could fly at all. With renewed determination, the sparrow spread its wings again, its feathers trembling slightly as it faced the open sky. This time, instead of fighting the wind, it chose to embrace it. The wind, which once felt like a force that pushed it down, now became its ally. The sparrow felt the lift of the air beneath its wings, and with each beat it soared higher. Its wings no longer felt weak but strong, powered by the belief that it was meant for something greater. The sparrow, now filled with confidence, took a leap of faith. It spread its wings wide, feeling the rush of wind beneath it. For the first time, it didn't hesitate. It flew with purpose, breaking through the clouds, the world below becoming a distant memory. The sparrow's heart soared with joy as it realized the truth. It wasn't about being big or having the strongest wings. It was about believing in its own potential. The sky, once a place of fear and doubt, was now a place of freedom. And the sparrow, soaring like never before, knew that it had found its true strength. The sparrow soared through the sky, its wings strong and steady, gliding effortlessly beside the eagle. For the first time it felt truly free, unburdened by fear or doubt. The wind lifted it higher, and with each beat of its wings the sparrow felt more powerful. It had come so far from the timid bird that once watched the world from the safety of the trees. Now, flying side by side with the eagle, the sparrow understood that greatness was not about size or strength alone, but about the courage to overcome fear and the willingness to push beyond what seemed possible. As the sparrow flew, it glanced down at the ground far below. It remembered the days when it thought the sky was out of reach, when its small wings felt like insurmountable limitations. Now, from its elevated vantage point, the sparrow saw the world differently. The vast sky no longer seemed intimidating. Instead, it felt like an open canvas full of possibilities. What once seemed impossible now felt like a new beginning. A world where anything was achievable for those willing to believe in themselves. The eagle, flying just ahead, looked back and smiled as it watched the sparrow soar with newfound grace. "You have become more than you ever imagined," the eagle said, its voice filled with pride. "You have learned that with courage any bird can fly like an eagle." The sparrow, now soaring confidently through the endless sky, felt a deep sense of gratitude. It understood now that it wasn't the eagle's powerful wings that made it great, but the courage to fly beyond the limitations of what it once thought was possible. The sparrow had learned that true strength came not from the size of its wings but from the belief that it could rise above the fear and doubt that once held it back. As it flew higher, The sparrow knew that it was no longer just a small bird. It was a symbol of what could be achieved when one dared to dream big and fly like an eagle.